Live from your news leader, this is WTAJ News at 6.
That was about 5 minutes before the second tower came down.
Tonight on WTAJ News at 6, we introduce you to a local man who was in New York City 18 years ago when those two planes crashed into the World Trade Center. And a local veteran is awarded a home that now meets his needs. We're going to show you his story.
Men and women who rose up, who fought back, and who met unspeakable evil with selfless heroism and American strength.
Today, crowds gathered at the Flight 93 Memorial as there you see Vice President Mike Pence spoke about those who lost their lives on 9/11. Well, 18 years ago today, terror attacks shocked and scared our nation. Now, people from all across the country are coming together to remember the lives lost on 9/11. Today, we remember the near 3,000 people who were killed after the 4 hijacked planes crashed in New York, the Pentagon, and in a field in Shanksville, Somerset County. Memorial services were held at each site this morning. Our Maggie Smoka joins us now from the Flight 93 Memorial, where hundreds of men and women gathered to remember those who fought and lost their lives. Maggie?
John, it was a beautiful ceremony, and celebrations of life are still going on right now. Take a look at this. Just an amazing tribute about to happen. At the top of every hour on the anniversary of 9/11, what's called the Flight 93 Hero Flag is unfolded. Strangers come together in unity to share this special moment. The flag is designed to make sure that no one is ever forgotten. It is a beautiful sight. We saw it, we watched it here at 5 o'clock. Just absolutely amazing what they do. They'll be singing a brief song here in a moment as well. Very special day, a day that we should never forget, a day that we should always remember. And for one Huntington County man, this day meant a little more. Here's his amazing story.
That was June of 2000. Wow.
If memories help shape our life story,
That was a fun bunch.
then the pictures snapped along the way are
That
souvenirs
was the old colors of the cars.
captured,
And there's me with some of the guys.
so moments are never forgotten.
You spent 50 years in New York City.
Lived there 50 years in Flushing.
Huntington County is a lot different than New York
You're
City.
not talkative this morning.
Dave Camisa's once stressful lifestyle,
She said yes.
now much simpler in Orbisonia,
You what?
an area that caught his attention because of his love for trains.
And you don't have any family here.
No. I have a lot of friends, and some of the neighbors here I consider family. You know, some would probably consider me the crazy uncle in the family, too. It's the kids next door, my adopted family. They gave me that last year.
While his life in the country is a lot quieter, Dave's mind still rattles with memories, like a loud freight train bringing him back to a day he'll never forget.
One thing that I really want to talk about is the photo that you shared with me.
Yeah.
You say a picture is worth 1,000 words,
Yeah.
and that photo explains that meeting to a T. Do you remember, what you were thinking about, what was going through your head when that photo was taken?
That was about 5 minutes before the second tower came down. You know, it has like you go into one of those backlot studio tours where they set up the disaster with the flamethrowers and everything, and it had that feeling. It was like, oh, I'm on a studio tour. Didn't have the 100% effect of this is real until some of the pieces started falling into place.
September 11th, 2001. America's largest city becomes unrecognizable.
You could barely see, a foot in front of you. It was just this brown and gray dust. It was worse than like going out in a snow blizzard, being clouded. You couldn't see anything in front of you.
On this morning, Dave, a volunteer NYPD member in the Auxiliary Police Unit, was working his day job just blocks from the World Trade Center.
Right here. Stay right here.
When the chaos started, he headed to the scene. He would soon be faced with a tragedy that didn't seem real.
I didn't comprehend it, because there's a couple of clothing stores right there on the corner, and, you just look at it and you think they're mannequins that fell out the window. They weren't mannequins.
Years later, Dave still has his uniform. The white jacket, hat with the gold braiding.
Yeah, that was my last official uniform.
And all of his badges.
Black and gold, WTC, that was for anyone that was involved at the Trade Center.
Are reminders of that horrific day.
New York City will never be the same.
Oh, no.
Our country will never be the same.
No.
If memories help shape our life story, then this picture is Dave Camisa's souvenir, captured to remind us all of a day that changed America forever.
The main thing is, remember everybody that didn't go home that day, to the family or friends.
Yeah, such a beautiful story he has to share. Another beautiful moment right here. Take a look. Strangers coming together. They unfolded this flag. They're now sharing where they were from. They waved hi to one another, coming together all to honor the victims here in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. 18 years ago, we remember this day. And thousands also gathered at Ground Zero in New York today as families gathered at the World Trade Center site to remember those killed on 9/11. The names of those lost in the towers were read aloud to the crowd. Others gathered at the new 9/11 Memorial Glade, which honors first responders and volunteers who became sick or died as a result of the recovery effort. And today, President Donald Trump and his wife Melania were visiting the Pentagon, where 184 people died on 9/11. President Trump participated in the memorial wreath-laying ceremony and then spoke to survivors and families of those who were killed in 2001. And of course, today here in Shanksville, one of the keynote speakers was Vice President Mike Pence. He had a powerful message to share. For more on that message, we're going to now bring in our Sean Rapp. Sean, really a great speech that he gave earlier this morning.
A powerful message and very simple. Never forget and band together for the future.
We gather, as President Trump said earlier today, in his words, as one American family. United by patriotism, bound by destiny.
Hundreds gathered Tuesday to honor the lives of 40 passengers and crew members on Flight 93 who sacrificed their lives.
Men and women who rose up, who fought back, and who met unspeakable evil with selfless heroism and American strength.
Those men and women, the first in a new fight across the globe.
The heroes aboard were the first of a new generation of Americans to rise up as citizen soldiers in what would come to be known as the global war on terror.
Vice President Pence says this ground is now sacred.
Here, where a common field one day became a field of honor forever.
Pence's message to the American people is simple. Never forget their brave acts.
Never fail to honor the memory of those who were lost here in New York City and in Washington, D.C. And this we will do. We will tell their story. We will honor their memory, always.
And something else that really stuck out during Vice President Mike Pence's speech was the fact that not even a year after the attacks happened here in Shanksville, he came with his family, his young children, and visited the memorial site to make sure that this day was never forgotten. And we see tons of people coming from all over to this site to honor the victims.
Yeah, yesterday I was here doing a bit of a preview and had people from Indiana, Virginia, and today we've overheard people that are here from Utah and even Massachusetts, so
yes,
all for far and wide.
A really important day, and never forget this day in history. John, we're going to send it back to you.
Yeah, powerful moments there from Shanksville. Thank you very much.